If you get in here illegally, we shouldn't be rewarding them. And think about if we applied this to my hometown in San Francisco. People are stealing things at rampant rates. Are we going to pay them to stop stealing? Are we going to pay people to stop committing murder?
You got to say, okay, I got to characterize this and prioritize these issues and problems we have in this country. How can we get these people deported and have it not cost so much for the American taxpayers? In a way, we're still respecting the taxpayers' money into funding this mass deportation.
Outnumbered on a very busy news day. I'm Harris Faulkner here with my co-hosts Emily Campagno and Kaylee McEnany. Also joining us today, Riley Gaines is here, Outkick contributor and host of Gaines for Girls on Outkick. And John Yoo, UC Berkeley law professor, former Deputy Assistant Attorney General and former law clerk for Justice Thomas. Welcome to our guests. Well, let's begin with Project Homecoming now. The Trump administration's charter flights to help willing immigrants, those who came here illegally, self-deport to their home countries. The Department of Homeland Security is sharing this video of that flight from Houston to Honduras and Colombia. 64 of those illegal immigrants boarded that charter jet free of charge. Officials handed out food and children's toys for each ride, and each person was given a $1,000 stipend for their cooperation. Now, remember, this was the incentive that was promised by President Trump shortly after he came into office. He's been talking about this for weeks, and now it's happening. Now, those illegal aliens will have a chance to legally return to the United States. He said, look, if you come back the legal way, you got to get in line. You won't be put first, but you can come back if you self-deport. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem posted this picture of two women sharing a hug before boarding their flight. And this man was all smiles before boarding as he headed back to his home country. Secretary Noem talked about her self-deportation program during a Senate hearing last hour.
For us to deport someone, that we have to go out and find that individual, arrest and detain them and remove them from the country, it costs upwards to $17,000 if there isn't, more delays than the normal process. That's why we're encouraging people to self-deport. If you are here illegally, we recognize that you may have been here for a period of time, but if you want to leave and have the chance to come back someday, leave on your own. We will facilitate that. We'll buy you a plane ticket. When you land, we will give you $1,000 that you can get started with and provide for your family. That cost of self-deportation is $4,500. So much more cheaper for the American taxpayer in how we make sure that we really are following our laws and that the people here in this country, the American citizens, are treated with the respect that they're due by coming here through the legal process and being a part of our future.
And I want to make it clear.
And this is why the American taxpayers are not seeing the full effect of the Trump administration right now, with all prices coming down, wages going up, having a huge impact on everybody. It's slowly working, but because the major number one thing that Trump said he was going to do was do the mass deportations. It's not free to do these things. It costs money. Money that the Biden administration really effed up because they allowed so many people to come into this country. It's going to cost a lot more money to get them out of the country. So Trump proposing, hey, if you want the ability to become a U.S. citizen, instead of us looking for you and kicking you out of this country and never being allowed to re-enter this country for the rest of your life, you have the opportunity to self-deport, go back to your home country. If you want to come back to this country and become a U.S. citizen, do it the right way. Come through the front door, get your paperwork situated, and then you can become a U.S. citizen. And I'm almost guaranteeing that a lot of the people that self-deported are people that did not commit any type of crimes since they have been here in this country. And that's good. That's a good sign because we, like I've said in other videos, the American people, we want immigrants in this country. A lot of us here in this country are immigrants, legal immigrants. But if you're gonna come to this country illegally It's not going to be good. At some point, there's going to be an administration like the Trump administration that's going to put their foot down and say, no, the United States is about law and order, and we follow the rules here. We don't get to come here into this country, commit murder and all these type of crimes that you got so used to in your home country. We don't do that here. Go back home and commit your crimes there and let your country deal with you. But here in the United States, we're not giving freebies and allowing everybody to do whatever the hell they want.
Our screen right now says migrants. They are illegal immigrants who were in this country, and they have begun to self-deport. John, what's your thought on this legally?
Harris, I totally see the symbolism of this, but I don't think using carrots rather than sticks is the way to enforce our laws when they're broken. Now, just the back of the envelope calculations, it would take 155,000 flights to fly all the tens of millions of people that President Biden let in illegally.
But they're not all going to leave that way.
No, I expect not. If it's Newark Airport, it could be 250,000
Oh my goodness.
these days.
Touché.
We're talking $10 billion in payments. But the main point is our criminal laws and our laws create a deterrent. And I think that's where President Trump has been successful. We are deterring people from coming here. If you get in here illegally, we shouldn't be rewarding them. And think about if we applied this to my hometown in San Francisco. People are stealing things at rampant rates. Are we going to pay them to stop stealing? Are we going to pay people to stop committing murder? No, the point of the criminal law is to deter people from causing harm to society in the future. So I think paying people $1,000 for getting into the country illegally is going to have a perverse effect.
What do you think about it?
And I understand his perspective. I like where he's going with it, but what the Trump administration, I believe, is really thinking is for the American citizens, the American taxpayers. This is his fully focus. You got to understand, being the president of the United States, you have to look at the big picture of the country and not little problems that are all these problems going on in the country, and then figuring out, okay, I got to solve this issue at one at a time. You got to say, okay, I got to characterize this and prioritize these issues and problems we have in this country. How can we get these people deported and have it not cost so much for the American taxpayers? In a way, we're still respecting the taxpayers' money into funding this mass deportation. So that's why I believe the Trump administration is doing it the way they're doing it right now. But I understand this gentleman's perspective that, we shouldn't be paying criminals that came into this country illegally to say, hey, if you want to be in this country, you got to leave. Here's some money, leave. I mean, I understand that, but I think the sole purpose of it is for the American taxpayers not paying so much money towards this mass deportation.
About that, Kaylee?
I've said before that I think there's an important symbol here, and it's broader than just, enforcing immigration law. It's President Trump's compassionate way of saying, you sign up, you do this the right way, and I will give you a second chance. And He has articulated that. We talked about it on the show on Fox Noticias, the portion where he was asked by a Mexican-American who'd been here, an illegal immigrant, been here 20 years with a family. And Trump said, I don't want to do harm to this guy. Do things the right way and come back. So I think that symbol is a very important one. It's a compassionate way to do things. And I think what President Trump was doing today on your program, throughout the hour, throughout the day, really, when he has stepped up to the microphone, he's driven a consistent message. And it's about the auto pen. And he's talked about who would take that pen and sign away our border security. Who would take that pen and do that? And I was looking, President Biden's first day in office, the stuff he was signing with the auto pen or whoever was signing, whatever, was ending discriminatory bans on entry to the United States as if that was a priority, diverting border wall funding. Mm-hmm. Someone took that pen and signed those proclamations and undid American safety. President Trump today, by signing the proclamation for this homecoming project, has taken the pen and signed up for American security, saving the American taxpayer $150 billion a year in money diverted to illegal immigrants. I like it, and I like the symbolism particularly.
Yeah, and that pen was also pardoning his relatives.
Yes.
Biden had priorities, apparently.
Yeah.
Emily, there's been lawfare, all these injunctions against this president. And I would have to think that at least in this way, he can take the reins and say, look, I'm going to CBP home. We're going to turn around Biden's CBP 1 and have you leave the country, self-deport. It is a way to kind of flout, look, you can come after me, but I'm still going to get the job done.
Absolutely. Using his authority that he knows he has, in stark contrast to the prior president that didn't even know what his authority was. And Professor, respectfully, I think what interests me here is I think we're actually rewarding not illegal immigration, but we are rewarding the self-deportation. And I note that it sort of appears to be three doors, a choose-your-own adventure, essentially, for the illegal immigrant. And tragically, the compassionate cruelty under the prior administration, their option was sexual assault, rapes, theft, beatings, horrid, deplorable conditions that were paid for by the taxpayers in the United States, but yet they were truly in like squalor for the entire time. And that was their option under the cartels, under pain of death or violence for their families if they didn't take them up on it. But if they stay here, what I love is that the president has painted what that portrait looks like.
You persuaded me. I'm wrong. I've never said that before on television.
Even done. But yeah, I feel like, we showed through the enforcement mechanism of the DOJ, essentially, like, if you stay here, these arrests are going to happen. But look, we'll give you stuffed animals and the like to leave. So I see the comfort that these illegal immigrants have, the safety they have to get home safely, to me seems priceless. But I'm curious your thoughts on
John,
that.
I think you got outnumbered.
No.
They should name a show after that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Such a great
You were
idea.
not outnumbered on the Newark point, though.
Yeah, no. Hey, everyone.
And that's the point of having these discussions. These ladies went up here and they're giving up their viewpoints of why it's beneficial to get these illegal immigrants to self-deport rather than looking for them, not giving them the opportunity to come back into this country legally. And the 64, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a lot more people that are gonna self-deport now because they're saying, okay, well, we already seen that this is happening. We can do it too. We can go back, come back if we want to, or stay in our homeland. They understand the purpose of it. Obviously, criminals are not going to be self-deporting. They don't want to be caught. They didn't want to be caught in their own country they were in, so they decided to sneak into this country through the Biden administration and many other administrations. Listen, this is not just under the Biden administration. This has been happening for many, many, many years. That nobody has been securing. This country has been growing so much throughout the decades. And it's gotten to the point where everything's been ramped up except our own security of our country. And that's where we lack the most. Now, if we continue to ignore securing our homeland, we're going to be such a big country that sooner or later we're going to be overrun by many, many criminals that could potentially take over this entire country and basically get rid of everything this nation has succeeded or has accomplished, I would say. Let me know what you guys think about this self-deportation in the comments below. Like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Till next time. Peace out, everybody.